All right, I promised the super hot fire on Twitter. Here it is.
Inside, and a beauty! Hall running free! Brees Hall inside the 10! He's gonna score!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and today we're going to be going over a rather bold prediction, a self-admittedly super hot fire take about the New York Jets versus the Minneapolis, I almost called them, the Minnesota Vikings. And here's the take. I think the New York Jets are going to sack quarterback Kirk Cousins 10 plus times this game. Okay. Let's talk about, one, how rare that is, why I think it's going to happen, and all of the things that led me to this take. So, okay, let's talk about, has anyone done it this year? No. No one has hit double-digit sacks in a single game this year. The closest that we got was 2 games. One in week 3 was Philadelphia versus the Commanders. Philadelphia sacked the Washington Commanders 9 times. And then the other 9-sack game was New England on Indianapolis. New England sacked Indianapolis 9 times. The other games that were really close was in week 1. Buffalo sacked the Rams 7 times. Pittsburgh sacked Cincinnati 7 times. San Francisco sacked the Rams 7 times in week 4. But here's the kicker, and here's why I came up with this take. The Dallas Cowboys sacked the Minnesota Vikings in week 11 7 times. Now, I believe, and I could probably go find this, but I didn't want to. I was too lazy. I believe Darisaw played in that game. He's not playing against the Jets. And so they're playing the backup at left tackle. The backup at left tackle has given up a sack a game in his 4 starts. I think he has 5 sacks in 4 games played. He's not very good in protection. We also know that the interior offensive linemen for the Minnesota Vikings are not good. They have allowed the most pressure in the NFL, period, for an interior offensive line unit. Just period. They're the worst interior offensive line unit in the NFL. Now, when we start talking about statistically what's going to happen, well, obviously we know that Quinnen Williams leads the New York Jets in sacks with 8 sacks, right? That's not a super crazy, it shouldn't surprise any of you guys, if I'm being honest, right? We know that that's what he's doing, is Quinnen Williams leads the team. 8 sacks, and he's doing it from up the middle, and then the guys closest to him was obviously Carl Lawson with 5, Jonathan Franklin Myers with 4, Bryce Huff with 3.5, Jermaine Johnson with 2.5, and those are all of our edge rushers that I felt like mentioning. We obviously know that Sheldon Rankins is expected to play tomorrow against the Minnesota Vikings, and when he is in there with Quinnen Williams, he tends to be a big reason and a big help on getting Quinnen Williams to run up free up the middle. And here's the last piece to the puzzle. Not just the fact that Minnesota's interior offensive line is bad, not just the fact that our interior defensive line is exceptionally good, but it's the fact that it was a Michael Nania tweet from yesterday. If you don't follow him on Twitter, it's at Michael_Nania. Go follow him. I love his tweets. But he goes, Carl Lawson has a history of exploding once December arrives. In 2019, from September to November, he had 1.7 pressures per game, and that was a 7.8% pressure rate. December hits, and he jumps that up to 4.4 pressures a game, a 19.3 pressure rate. He follows that up in 2020 by having a 3.3 pressure rate per pressures per game, September to November, 11.9% pressure rate. Into December, going to 5.6 pressures per game, a 20.9 pressure rate. In 2022, he I'm expecting that he's going to do the same thing and have a big jump in December. If we take into consideration that Darisaw is going to be out and he will be facing one-on-one Blake Brandel, who has allowed 4 sacks in 3 games. I'm sorry, it wasn't 5 and 4. It was 4 sacks in 3 games this year. It seems like it's going to be Kirk Cousins' worst day in the office. And if the Cowboys were able to sack Kirk Cousins that many times, you have to believe, or at least I do, that the New York Jets are going to be able to do the same thing. All of New England, all of the Cowboys' pressure comes off of the edge. If you look at all of their guys that are leading their sack totals, Micah Parsons with 12 is an edge. Armstrong is an edge with 8. DeMarcus Lawrence is an edge with 6. Dante Fowler Jr. is an edge with 5. Sam Williams is an edge with 3. They're all getting their production off of the edge. They're not even taking advantage of, they didn't even really take advantage of the fact that Minnesota is weak up the middle. A guy like Quinnen Williams, who is the best interior defensive lineman in the NFL this year, hands down is going to be able to feast. And you're going to have to pick your poison. Who are you going to give the one-on-one matchup to? Are you going to give it to Carl Lawson, guy who's known for exploding in December? Are you going to give it to Quinnen Williams, the guy who's by far and away the best interior defensive lineman in the NFL? Are you going to give it to Rankins, someone who has been sneakily having an exceptional year and, in my opinion, has been playing like a top 15 interior defensive lineman in the NFL this year? Are you going to give it to Franklin Meyer, who has been sneakily been a top 15 edge rusher in the NFL this year? What about the rotation? Bryce Huff has one of the highest snap-to-sack rates of any player in the NFL, let alone just edge rushers. Are you going to give it to Jermaine Johnson on a per-snap basis as the best rookie when it comes to pressure and sack rate? Michael Clemens, are you just going to stop him? Guys, I don't know. I know this is a super, super crazy hot fire take, but I see it. I think the Jets are going to absolutely bully Kirk Cousins in this offensive line. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and really tell me what you think, because I need to be brought back. I need to be dialed back. I can't be feeding into my New York Jets ego like this. Let me know in the comment section below. And last but not least, go Jets.